Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. What we're discussing today is of particular importance. I think, as always, we bring you exclusive content, but this time it is something to celebrate for the entire nation as well. And I think, on a very first note, before I move on to the introduction, I think it's a proud moment for all of you Pakistanis, whether you're inside the country or whether you're abroad as well. So, on the very first note, I think this needs to be discussed in detail, where the Asian Squash Federation has selected Pakistan's Farhan Zaman for the Best Junior Coach Award of the year. Pakistan, of course, won the Asian Junior Team Championship. The national team also won silver medal in the British Junior Championship and Asian Games. The award would be presented on the 22nd Asian Team Championship, which would be held on the 16th of June. So I think in an advanced manner, we can celebrate, but obviously till the 22nd, you've got to wait to bring all of your congratulations. But I think it's a great moment. And like I said, that from myself, particularly on an individual basis, our entire team of Sports Extra, PTV, Pakistan Television, PTV World in general, I think on behalf of the entire nation, we would like to congratulate Farhan on achieving this feat as well, and for his family, everybody, the team that is involved, obviously the Squash Federation. I think everybody throughout your career deserves congratulations on this stage as well. And like I said, that this is truly a very, very proud moment for Pakistan when we talk about this. Then, of course, we also talk about Sadia Iqbal, who is also a PSF female national coach as well. She's former Pakistan #1. She won the South Asian silver and bronze medal, United Nations award holder as well, as an inspiration for young girls and women out there throughout the world. So I think it's a proud moment that we get to celebrate both of them on the show today and talk to them about their journeys and how they can make a difference and how they are making a difference already when it comes to their career as well. Because obviously it's not just about the sport. The sport itself for an individual goes back to the community that they're involved in, and it changes lives all across. So I think it's very important that we talk about it. Then we move on. In the next segment, we talk about the English Premier League. City beat Tottenham by 2-0. They've got a 2-point advantage now going into Sunday's game, so it's going to be very, very exciting. It's right down to the wire. So we discuss all that is there as well on the points table with 88 points. Arsenal's game before Sunday is going to be very interesting. So we'll talk about that. And then, of course, we move on to Pakistan's tour to England. The team, of course, holding practice sessions as well at Leeds. They're going to face England on the first T20 on the 22nd. They're yet to finalize their T20 World Cup squad, but news have come in that preparations have been completed, and the final squad would be announced right during that England series. So we're just expecting now the squad to be announced, although I think a lot of us already have an idea of who's going to represent Pakistan in the T20 World Cup. So we'll talk a bit about that as well. And before now, when we get to the introductions and the details, we've got a report, a package that details the heroics of somebody that we will be introducing on the show. Let's take a look and then we come back.
Farhan Zaman is a Pakistani squash player renowned for his remarkable achievements and contributions to the sports. His career is highlighted by numerous titles that span across various levels of competition, from championships to prestigious international events. He is imparting his knowledge and experience to the next generation as a national junior coach with the Pakistan Squash Federation. Asian Squash Federation selects Pakistan's Farhan Zaman for the Best Junior Coach Award of the Year. Farhan Zaman reached the peak of his career with a world ranking of 47, showcasing his skills and competitive spirit on the global stage. Farhan Zaman played a crucial role in leading the Pakistan team to victory in the Asian Senior Team Championships 3 times, underscoring his consistency and team spirit. Winning the British Junior Championship in 2005 was a significant achievement that highlighted Zaman's potential and set the stage for his future success. Dominating the national scene, Zaman claimed the title of National Senior Champion of Pakistan 6 times, solidifying his status as the country's top player. His international prowess was further proven by winning the Chicago Open in 2013. Zaman continued his success with a victory in Washington in 2015. Winning the South Asian Games individual title in 2016 added to his impressive list of regional achievements. Zaman also claimed the Chief of Air Staff International title in Pakistan, further establishing his dominance on home soil. His contribution to the team's silver medal at the 2023 Asian Games showcased his skill in the sport. Farhan Zaman has claimed victory in various international tournaments, including the Milat Open 2011 and the Sri Lankan Air Force Open 2010, among others. In addition to his numerous victories, Zaman has also secured multiple runner-up and semi-final finishes in international events, demonstrating his competitiveness and resilience.
Well, there you have it. All you need to know about the gentleman who has certainly, I think, achieved a lot. And like I said, that these two superstars on the show today, we're going to be talking to them in detail about their achievements and also how they will be inspiring the next generation of players as well. And not only players, I think official as well, because that is also a very important part of sports that we tend to miss out often. So first of all, let me be very, very honored to introduce you to someone who is still bringing some great awards for Pakistan. And certainly, I think on the when we move on to that date, which we're all eyeing now, when he gets to be presented by that Best Junior Coach Award, we're all very, very excited to introduce on the show today. Joining us is Mr. Farhan Zaman. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show. After watching all my these achievements here, I feel so happy that I get opportunity to express like how I'm feeling right now. This award is not just for me. Like I think this award is for everyone who is living in Pakistan. I'm being selected by Asian Squash. There were like many other players actually who got retired recently, and they are even much better in the ranking. But in their country, they selected me. So it is a big honor for Pakistan and for Pakistan Squash Federation actually, where we are working, which actually Pakistan Squash Federation provided us this platform where we are helping juniors, and obviously my family, my wife Sadia Gul, who is always behind me, like all day she is there with me. Our Secretary Squash Federation, Senior Vice President Hamad Kazim, Director Academy, everyone is actually behind us. It's not just me who is working for squash. Before I was actually playing as a player. Now I changed my career. Like now I'm helping the juniors of Pakistan actually. So it's great to be here on your show, and thank you so much.
You know, sort of like a squash couple, which we should call them as well at the same time. But certainly, I think what is important, what Farhan has mentioned, is that this award certainly belongs to, I think, the entire nation, and all of us should be celebrating this as well. But we're very honored to be joined by former Pakistan #1. She's won multiple awards for Pakistan as well, so we'll talk about that in detail as well. And of course, United Nations Award when it comes to being an inspiration for young girls all over the world, especially I think in our part of the world. It's very important to have role models for young girls going into any sport. So we're very, very honored to be joined by somebody who also happens to be a coach, Miss Sadia as well. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, ma'am?
Walaikum assalam. First of all, thank you so much to inviting me on your show. This is a great platform where I can share my knowledge to the other who don't know what is squash, because most of the time when we are talking about squash, nobody knows what is squash. Oh, okay, this is squash. So this is a great platform, so we can just tell the people what is squash and what is the opportunities in squash. So when I started playing squash, it was very difficult for me because I belong to Banu, and when I like 15 years back, I started playing in Peshawar, where I was the only girl in 400 boys, and it was very difficult for me to play in 400 boys because there were no other girl. But nowadays, alhamdulillah, and there are so many girls, like 50 plus girls who are playing in KPK nowadays, and mashallah, they are champions in Pakistan, and even international level they are playing, and they are winning the tournaments. Mehwish and Mahanur, they belong to KPK, and I'm proud of them that after me and Mari Turpake, there are girls and who are representing Pakistan, and they are bringing laurels for Pakistan. As I am inspiration for girls, and United Nations give me the award for inspiration for girls, me and Malala Yousafzai, we get the award at the same prestigious stage where Malala Yousafzai get the Peace Award, and I got the Inspiration for Girls Award. And they gave me the Inspiration for Girls Award because after me there are so many girls in KPK, and they are playing in a very good level, and I'm hoping that they will become a world champion and the top 10, inshallah.
Certainly, inshallah. But I think Bannu is certainly a very gifted land now. We've heard about the food, but when we heard about the great squash journey as well, when you keep on hearing them, I think it's a fantastic journey as well. But Farhan, I'm going to come to that squash couple element in a while now. But first, I must ask you something which is very, very important for people to understand. And that is the transformation that a player goes through when he becomes a coach. That is something very technical, because obviously when you're in your playing days, or if you're playing, that is something different. But when it comes to, teaching the trade, your own strengths and weaknesses, then gauging the other player, that's a complete transformation that a player goes through.
It is a very hard part for a player like who is already playing in a top level to transform himself into a coach. It is not an easy part actually, where you are winning medals and then suddenly you have to, there is a time when it comes that you have to change your, you have to transform. But also when you get opportunity to perform on a national level, where you are working with a instead of going to the other countries, I choose actually Pakistan because Pakistan Squash Federation helped me to actually transform myself and transforming all my knowledge which I had to the kids of Pakistan. Actually, I'm very thankful to them. It was not an easy part. Coaching
is a very
coaching is a
hard
totally different job than playing squash. It is not an easy thing where you get up and you actually start reading the other junior players and their nature, and then you have to accept everything actually, like you have to do a lot of things which as a player you are not doing. So it
as
was,
a player you are doing only work for yourself, but as a coach you have to face so many things with the different kids. They have a different behaviors, you have to judge them, you have to work with their behavior, just because everyone have their different personality, so you have to work on them. It's very difficult, and you have a pressure also, because at the same time people are judging you, oh, you are doing good coaching or not. And after a very good when you are on the very good level as a player and you are coming as a coach, it's very difficult to prove yourself, because everyone is they have more expectation from
but Sadia,
you.
what's interesting is that once you become a coach, you probably realize some of the hard work that your coaches were putting in, with the player. Sometimes there's frustration, sometimes you're angry at your player, sometimes you're trying to, because obviously I think the player spends more time with their coaches, so the coach is always like a father or a mother figure, immediately like parents. So you then, when you become a coach, it's very, very interesting that then you understand what your coaches were going through when you were playing.
Exactly. Recently we have done the WSF level 2 coaching course, in which they just told us that you have to talk to each and every person differently. Everyone is different, and they were calling it Sally Sunflower, which like every individual is different than the others. So when I was a player, I was totally different, and I was aggressive, and I was moody and everything. But after, when I turned to coach, it's very difficult, because you have to if you have mood swing or whatever, you have to just go with the flow, and you have to play with your player, and you have to make him or her feel comfortable, and you have to tell them how to do a work, and how to do hard work to bring a trophy and a championship trophy.
It's very important, because obviously in sports I think the indicators are very, very important, and obviously when it comes to squash, then maintaining your ranking, the amount of participation you're going through in Pakistan, who's enjoyed I think a rich history of squash in this country, but unfortunately there have been tough times as well. It's very, very, I think, optimistic that now we see gradually that we're moving up the ranks, we're getting results. But Farhan, it's very important to understand that once you achieve a certain level, and once, I think, for a long period of time there's not been enough focus on squash, but then once you start to focus on it again, results won't come immediately overnight. It then needs to be a very long process, which people need to understand.
Pakistan Air Force is actually trying to revive squash in Pakistan. Like they are behind still, like whatever you are watching, it is because of Pakistan Squash Federation. They are like some there is a plan, like they actually provide, and then we execute on the players. We are working. It will come. It is slow, but it will come. You will see the different results. Like recently, we won so many events in Pakistan. Internationally, we are getting medals. Recently, we won Asian Games medal. I was the part of the team. So I think I face like things during my career. Like we are trying to tell to the other players, like so they cannot actually go through that.
Well, certainly. I think one part of it is that a lot of the struggles that a player goes through, once they become a coach, they better understand those loopholes. And it's very, very important that we see that, they try their best, that, that side of the picture doesn't go to their players that they're coaching as well. Sadia, for women, particularly for girls, like you also mentioned, the part of our culture dynamics which we have, it's very, it has been very difficult, to be honest. But now, like you said, numbers are increasing. There are a lot of young girls who are coming up the ranks to play squash. What's the routine like with them? How are you inspiring them? Obviously, they need to start from grassroots stages, and then you need to convert them to a professional stage. What's the process like?
Okay, so we are working on it. Like we have arranging so many camps for the girls. Like recently, I did a camp and also a first women Premier League. So the women can inspire and they can play more squash and they can play better. And now we have planned after Asian Junior, we have Asian Junior in June. So after that we have a plan to make more camps for girls and make a training plan for girls so they can come and play. I'm also working on the girls who cannot afford. I'm training with them. I'm giving them racket, balls and everything, whatever they want. And I'm also working on the school level things, like squash is not familiar in schools and all. Like football and other games, they are familiar and they are the players are used to play in schools, but squash is one of the game which is not introduced in schools. So I'm trying to introduce squash in schools. So when we will introduce in schools, it will be growing. And one more thing, like before, so many people are saying that before we had a world champions, but now we don't have anyone in even in top 70 or 50. Just because at that time, PIA and other sponsor corporates, they were coming and they were giving sponsor. Like one of the, like if someone is going for the tournament, they have to play at least 10 to 12 tournaments in a year. But when they are going in Pakistan, we don't have that much tournament. They have to go outside of the country. So when they are going out there, they need a sponsor because they need a ticket, they need a stay over there, they need a food and all. So when they are going, like if there are 10 players, so they need a sponsor for that. So if private corporates will come and they will sponsor them, so our player will become world champions again, inshallah.
Certainly, inshallah, and that is the hope. But I think there is so much glory to it as well. But at the same time, I must congratulate both Sadia and Farhan for, I think, still being dedicated to the sport. Eventually, what happens in Pakistan, a sportsman's life is very limited, and after that you don't see much happening. But if they're still involved with the sport, they're sharing their knowledge, their experience with the younger lot, I think that's something that makes the real difference to the next generation of squash players in Pakistan as well. Farhan, on a final note, I must ask you the importance of having competitive tournaments. Like you mentioned, that the patronage of sports is with the Pakistan Squash Federation, and of course the Pakistan Air Force has played a keen role. I know a couple of corporate entities as well who have been very keen in promoting as sponsorship for sports, Serena being one of them. They've done their part. There are a lot of other entities as well. Just recently we had a Chief of Naval Staff event as well happening. So a lot of entities are taking some sort of interest in order to have an infrastructure now. But how important is it for us to have competitive squash tournaments, probably international or national, on regular basis? Like Sadia mentioned, that one part is grassroots level, but you also need to compete as well. It can't be training all along.
Before, I think it was so easy for Pakistan to conduct more tournaments, but nowadays it's getting so expensive because the tournaments are in the dollars. So there are very less tournaments going on. We need actually more sponsors who can come forward and sponsor Pakistan Squash Federation, so we can play more events. We have to play one event in a month, and our players are playing actually only three events in a year. So if you see the ranking of the Pakistani players, like they are not bad, like they are just not playing enough tournaments. So either we have to travel abroad, for that even we need some money, or if we want to have the same tournament, same level tournaments in Pakistan, we need more sponsors. It will be good if other sponsorships comes forward and help Pakistan.
Certainly, certainly. Well, we can say that Farhan and Sadia, we're all very proud of you. I think the entire nation is proud of you, and Pakistan thanks both of you for your services. And obviously, I think on that note, it's up to them now to decide whether we get to celebrate Farhan's achievement immediately, or do we wait till the 13th when he gets that award on that case. But thank you very much, Farhan and Sadia, for joining us. One thing is, I think, very, very pertinent, that there are people who are trying to make a difference and they need to be celebrated. It shouldn't be only limited to an international award that we get to celebrate Farhan or Sadia. I think it needs to be something that we celebrate all year around, because they're the people who are going to inspire the next generation of players in Pakistan, and they're still committed to making sure that Pakistan grows on a global stage as well. And once again, I think from all of us, from our entire team, we congratulate both their families, everybody involved, especially Farhan. Congratulations to you once again, and we wish you all the best for upcoming years of your career as well. On that note, we take a short break, but stay tuned. We come right back. And welcome back. And now we move on to the ever so exciting football. And to discuss it further, in studios we've been joined first of all by our sports expert, Mr. Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum salam. Very well to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us. And we've also been joined by sports expert, Mr. Rizwan Haider, somebody who is neck and neck right now at the points table. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed. Good to be here.
Well, it's all to play for, isn't it? When you talk about the Premier League, Ali Mehdi will just give you the word straight off, that, highlight for all of us how close it has come to, and what does Sunday's game mean?
Well, this is the beauty of the Premier League, Ahmed. Why the Premier League is the greatest football league in the world is because you have top-notch quality, you have teams which fight till the end, and now you have 6 teams who are always fighting it off, which has come down to 2. Arsenal and Manchester City. Arsenal fighting for ending 20 years of hurt, Rizwan by fighting for 20 years of ending 20 years of hurt, and Manchester City going for a 4th peat title. They're going for 4 titles in a row, something which has never been done before. Not even the great Manchester United have been able to do that before. So it's all to play for. It's been an absolutely incredible season, and you've had twists and turns. Other teams also have come. Liverpool were in for the fight, but this time it goes down to the final game week 38, where Arsenal will be fighting off Manchester City. Manchester City, all they need is basically they need to actually win this match, whereas this Arsenal, what they need to do is that they need to hope that Manchester City do not win. So it comes all down to play for in the final game week of the season, and it's going to be it's going to be an incredible ride on Sunday.
Well, Rizwan, Ali has certainly, I think, highlighted what we're going to go through on the weekend, but for particularly you, it becomes Guns N' Roses. But the fact is that, like I was saying before the show, that the reason it's come right down to the wire, Arsenal can only think of themselves, but still they have an opportunity.
I think it's been as Ali said, it's been a wonderful season, and it's Manchester City's title to lose right now. It's unprecedented, 4th in a row, and I think they've if they win this, it's going to prove that they're the greatest team ever in the Premier League. Even though Manchester United won 3 times in a row, twice on 2 different occasions. But still, I mean, it's unprecedented. Pep, you can say he has got too much money, it's oil money, or whatever, sort of thing you can say about them. But still, on the ground, they've done there, been there, proven it. They've won games. Even though Manchester Arsenal, if you look at the, their results against the top 6 between Man City and Arsenal, Arsenal won the home game, drew the away game. But still, the mistakes they made, City's just lost 3 games, Arsenal has lost 5. Losing home and away to Aston Villa was always going to be proved crucial. But the home game, and the second one, if you see that Arsenal had the title, had their hands on the title, and it was just one game where had they played well on the home, just even if they're easy, 1-0 victory should have been easy. Similarly, a game against West Ham at home, you go there to West Ham, destroy them, 4 or 5 goals, but at home, if you lose, then you're always going to be chasing the title.
Ali Mehdi, it's interesting that if you talk particularly right now about Manchester City, it's really played on their nerves as well. They were in a critical juncture in the Champions League. Then you talk about the Premier League being neck and neck. But obviously this is something that, Pep Guardiola and his men are used to. City is one of the most dominant sides in Europe. We can talk about that all day long. But the fact is that, as Rizwan mentioned as well, that it's right now, it's come to a moment where it's City's title to lose?
Look, it's City's title to lose, and it's been this for a while too. Arsenal had the initiative. This was their title, just like last year. Last year they didn't have experience. This year they did have experience. They got 3-4 amazing acquisitions, due to which they were chasing right till the end. But unfortunately, it's a game of fine margins, Ahmed. Because of that loss against Aston Villa, and obviously getting the double by Aston Villa, who themselves have qualified for the Champions League, they're pretty much out of the race. But look, the fact of the matter is that over here is that Manchester City still have to win on Sunday. Ahmed, even if they draw and Arsenal win, Arsenal could grab the title by the scruff of the neck, and this Rizwan Bhai could be celebrating a championship after 20 years. But the fact of the matter is that, look, Ahmed, we've seen the Premier League since it was inception. We've seen twists and turns in the title. You talk about the Guerrero season 2012, 2014, when Manchester City took the title away from Liverpool. A few seasons ago, when it went to the last day. And then I remember in 2008, what happened that United and Chelsea were fighting it. Anything is possible, and I'm just saying that it's going to be a nerve-wracking finale.
Bigger drama has happened in the Premier League, what Ali Mehdi wants to say. We've seen bigger things happening than if this happens. I think that won't be the first time that certain things have unfolded. Not too much of expectations that have been there. But if you look at the dynamics of Manchester City and the way they've dominated, I think Rizwan, to be honest, and I don't mean this because I've got an Arsenal supporter in studios, I mean this with pure honesty, that for the past 2-3 years, if there's one side that has visibly seen that improvement and has went up to challenge some of the big leagues, it has been Arsenal.
Well, I think if you look at last season, the transformation it's been on ever improving scale. Last season we were all hopeful, but I myself wasn't too sure. Ali kept reminding me that you've been top of the table for 28 weeks or 30 weeks, but we didn't have the backup. We didn't have, if you lose somebody to injury, then you don't have enough bench strength last year. But Arsenal worked on that. They've improved. They've shown tremendous improvement. I mean, taking it to the last day, it's just they've improved, matured in the experience that they have that they've gained from last year. But end of the day, let's be honest, City's also gained experience. City's also had some decent signings. Overall, the gap has shrunk now, but still there's a lot to play for, and we can all fantasize like Ali is, but let's be realistic. It's City's title to lose. I think it'll be very fortunate for Arsenal if City lose out, but when you have something like fourth consecutive title at stake, you're not going to take it easy. You're going to take it seriously.
So obviously, and I think both ways it's going to play on their nerves. Even if it's Arsenal, even Manchester City, it is something that eventually you are thinking of in the back of the mind, even if you're telling everybody by courtesy of media.
But sorry, Ahmed, stranger things have happened in the past.
Yes, like I said, yes. So obviously, are you expecting something strange to happen?
I'm hoping. Ali Mehdi's. All Arsenal can do is go and win the game, and then let luck have its way.
Yes, Ali Mehdi, I'll give you the concluding
Look, the one thing I want to tell you is that whatever the case, I was telling this outside to Rizwan, but there's an interesting fact. West Ham are going to give it their all in this game against Manchester City, because if somehow or the other they can they can actually draw or beat Manchester City, which is going to be a mammoth task. There's a clause in the contract which this Declan Rice signed with Arsenal, that if he happens to win the title with Arsenal in his first season, then as an add-on, West Ham gets £5 million, and on top of that, it'll be the perfect finale for David Moyes, who's been a fabulous manager, won the Europa Conference League last year, and I genuinely do hope that he can do it, because who wouldn't want to see Pep suffering? We've suffered a lot over the past few years, and it would be amazing if Pep loses the title and then United win the FA Cup, which is all wishful thinking.
Spoken like a true Reds fan, although his Manchester is blue today if you look at his attire, but spoken like a true. But gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to leave it till Sunday for the excitement to build up, and I am pretty honest on this note that I want Arsenal to win. I want somebody to celebrate something that we haven't been able to celebrate since the past many decades now, if I think of it like that. But all the best to Arsenal, all the best to Mr. Rizwan. On that note, we go towards a break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Time now to take things on a very, very serious and hilarious note at the same time. Joining me in studios now is K. Asif Ahmed, the international cricket commentator, broadcaster, presenter, and our sports expert. Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. I'm perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. Now, Pakistan's tour to England is almost around the corner. The team has been training in Leeds. A lot of hype is there about the 4 T20s. We're all very excited for England. First of all, I want to give credit to English players for prioritizing national cricket before any league. I think that's setting the precedent very high, and that's how you make up for the men's once you're going into the World Cup. But that being said, Asif, how do you see this series? There's a lot of talk about Pakistan's World Cup squad, but what sources have told us that it's almost been finalized and they're just going to announce it any day soon.
Well, I think that as Pakistan Cricket Board said that Pakistan will announce the squad for the T20 World Cup on 22nd, and right after the first T20, I think. And I strongly agree with you that each and everything is set over the paper. Might be a slight change, I don't know, or please give me an input about Usman Khan. Either he will be the part or not. I think I was asking about the Usman Khan. I mean, what about your sources? Please elaborate. What do you think about him?
I think he's going to be in the World Cup squad.
If he's in the World Cup, then what will happen about Azam Khan, Iftikhar, and day before yesterday you said that Azam Khan will be in the squad, and of course that. So I think that then there is no chances that we can't see any other changes, because Zaman Khan, he's in reserve players, and if a couple of more players aren't coming, so over the paper they have finalized each and everything about the squad, and but I cannot see any sort of big change right after the England series. And Pakistan have given some of the chances to the Azam Khan, and then 4 chances to Usman Khan. He didn't perform well. Even then, if he's in their plans, then there is a question mark. But I think right before the World Cup, it's a very important series, and it's a big test. When we talk about the Headingley, Leeds, the highest total of is the 200. England made that. Pakistan's lowest total is 159. That is the Pakistan, and in case Pakistan will definitely work on the partnership. So we seen that in the last T20 against Ireland, that the Rizwan and Babar, they performed well. Whenever they performed well, Pakistan wins. So I think their role should be really crucial. Then Fakhar Zaman, of course, that he is in good touch. He played a very good innings in second T20. And Azam Khan, everyone is talking about Azam Khan. Someone has shared over the X that he is the first player of the Pakistan who's scored the fastest 200 sixes in T20 cricket. Not about international cricket, in the T20 cricket. But the problem is, Ahmed, for me, that who will perform apart from Babar Azam and Rizwan?
But you remember about these sixes, there also used to be someone who was quoted as saying that in the nets he was hitting this number of sixes, this number of sixes.
100 sixes in a day.
100 sixes in a day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, didn't transform to the international level. So I guess those records really don't matter when it comes to World Cups.
Well, I think this is called lobbying. You know that when you're not performing well, they will bring your franchise cricket record and they'll put over the Twitter. And I think this is there for personal gains, not for Pakistan. You're not helping Pakistan. If you want to help Pakistan, bring the natural talent. And you guys are performing well in the domestic circuit. I have shared one reel with you, if you do remember. What Saurav Ganguly is saying, the problem of Pakistan cricket is that yes, the franchise cricket is good for the, you're earning handsome amount. But when we talk about the quality of cricket, you go for the 4-day cricket. This is what Saurav Ganguly said about the Pakistan cricket.
Somebody, I think, who belongs to a nation who's got the longest league right now for T20 cricket in the world. So I think if they're saying importance to 4-day cricket, we're gobsmacked right now.
Well, he had taken some names, that he said that I played with Inzamamul Haq, I played with Mohammad Yusuf. The class of those players, you know that what he said that whenever I used to see Inzamam playing fast bowlers, I assume that these are not the fast bowlers, these are the spinners.
I think majority Indian players, Asif, I listened to Harbhajan Singh, somebody asked him and he said, who's the most difficult batter that you were bowling? He said, Inzamamul Haq.
Yes.
He said it was when he used to come. He said at that time he was hitting fast bowlers and spinners, playing that modern day attacking cricket which we know now. So it's very, very difficult for us to get
on a lighter note, but that's a very genuine thing which I have watched. I was in class 9th and I was watching a test match and Curtly Ambrose was bowling, and Curtly Ambrose bowled a bouncer and he came and he started sledging to Inzamam. Inzamam kept calm, but the very next delivery He played over the square leg for the maximum. And commentators said, I have seen with different 3 angles, that was nothing wrong with that ball, but that was the class of a batter. So I think that if Saurav Ganguly is talking about the Pakistan cricket, that they concentrate on 4-day cricket. But you know that why we're talking about this, I'm not eyeing this T20 World Cup. Maybe why I'm saying this, because
but just on a final note, can you tell me that the board, for the cricket board right now, for the selection committee, for the players themselves, for the nation involved, look, everybody's involved in this World Cup. We all of us own this right now. They really need to be justified answers through performances of players who've made a comeback in the team.
Well, I think they don't have an answer about this. They don't have an answer about Azam Khan. In press conference, Wahab Riaz said that Usman Khan was performing so well in domestic circuit and PSL. That was his answer. So if they're giving this kind of answer, and I'm shocked what journalists were doing there. Why they didn't say that he didn't play even single match for Pakistan in last 3-4 years in domestic circuit. So how you're saying that? So I think they don't have an answer. The only thing is that the Pakistan, now if Pakistan team could perform well, because Wahab Riaz himself with the team, Mohsin Naqvi met with the team and motivated them.
Right.
So if they play well, I think that we will definitely praise them.
Certainly. Asif, thank you very much for joining us. I think the argument makes a lot of sense that if they're performing, I think we'll be the first ones to cheer them up.
Yeah.
And if they're not performing, then we've got every right to question their selection. I think that is, like we say, constructive criticism would always be there. On that note, thank you very much for joining us, to all of you as well. Thank you very much to Asif and to all our guests. I think the World Cup squad is certainly on the lines. Probably whether it's a couple of days or right after the England first T20, in between, you never know. The squad is definitely going to be there, but I'm sure most of you already know which players are making up for the squad as well. We'll leave it at that. From me and the entire team, it's goodbye for now.